Hello, I'm Helen Van Wyk, and welcome to my studio. I think I told you I was going to tell you all about orange today. I'm not. I decided to stick with white because I don't think we really, I explained it completely. Because it would be awfully nice if we understood how to deal with white, because then you can paint anything that's white. So now, to further our discussion and further our understanding of painting white, I'm going to do Snow White. And rather than take the time to do the underpainting for you on camera, I did it ahead of time. This is an old barn, old red barn, and I'm going to make this all snow and tell you why I'm using the colors that I do. All right? Not the mixtures as much as why. Why I put certain colors down in certain areas. So, isn't it nice that it's all planned out? Wouldn't you like to start on this? The painting of it is easy. The planning is a little difficult. You can rent me. I love to plan them, and then you can paint them. I say that. So, I have to start somewhere. It would be silly to start with the white snow because I have white canvas. It would be better if I started with the colors that I know are going to be in here and then relate the color of snow to them. So let's make the barn red. Barn red. Let's see, do I have a barn red on that palette? Well, I don't think I can use any of these. I might be able to use some of this, and why don't I start out with that? Pure color right out of the tube and put it here. Oh no. I think with the light coming from this way, I have to add the ingredient that makes the presence of light in paint, which is what? White. So I'm going to put white in it. Oh no. I like that, but see, when you put white with red, it tends to go, as I call, cool. The hottest color is orange. So where we have sunlight striking, there's always an introduction of some yellow. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow or orange in that to make it look a little bit more sunlit. I'll try that. You never really have too much trouble with one color. It's the color you put next to it that can get you into trouble. So here, now my underpainting is just guiding me to the composition and the drawing. And the sun is also hitting this little patch of red barn. And it's also hitting this side of the silo. The light in this particular picture is coming from the left. Now my problem is to shadow the red. And why don't I let the shadow color be introduced to what it's going to encounter here on my palette before I even get there. So I'm going to put more red to take away the white lightness and then put its complementary color green. And that's the principle that we have to learn to be able to paint any color, including white. And you'll see that when I get to the snow. I know having an underpainting almost makes this look color book style. It isn't. It isn't really. It's the composition is the focal point or your inspiration. You say, oh, see, I saw this barn one summer, and I took a photograph of it. And because of my knowledge of color, I can turn it into a snow scene, or I'm going to turn it into a snow scene for you. But so much of painting is getting an idea for a painting. I grew up next to a farm, my uncle's farm, and so I'm very interested in barns, and they remind me, they recollect the wonderful times we had catching flies in that barn and playing with the kittens in the barn. And so I have a soft spot in my heart for barns. And there's a shadow here from the barn on the silo. Okay, now, you know that brush was bright red. I have this can, 1/3 full of turpentine or odorless paint thinner if you want to use that. And you see I'm cleaning it, getting it dry, taking all the wetness out with this towel arrangement I always have. I always have it. And now my brush is ready to, see, I'm going to take white, and look how clean that brush is. It doesn't have a bit of red in it. And I'm going to add some yellow brush, the color that seems that this low brush gets to be in winter. A little there and a little there, just to get me going. Maybe I should make that a little darker. Well, maybe I'll make it much darker. Well, I don't know what to do about it. I'm going to make it lighter. It's my picture. I think with the sun hitting here, the sun must have hit this. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Now, the color, I think I should do the sky color next. And the snow is going to be lighter than the sky. So here's white and a little black. Oh, such a little bit of blue. Be careful of blue. It can be such a dangerous color. It can scream and scream at you. Just put some yellow in it. Ah, I like that better. Maybe I'm going to put a little bit of green in it. Phthalo green, yeah. Try it out. Try it out before I get around and putting it. I'm going to make it go right over the barn. I'm going to make it go right over the top of the silo. I'll make it go right into there too. Why? I think I can get better coverage by overlapping. I get a more painty look. There's sometimes that I'm careful. If the paint doesn't seem to spread, wet it with a little turpentine. And I have a general overall coverage. And maybe I would like to draw more attention to the barn, and maybe I'll do that by lightening the sky here. I would never just put light things anywhere. I would definitely like to have lighter tones up against the subject matter to accent the subject matter's importance. And now the snow. Where light strikes the snow is going to be yellow. Yellow, ochre, and white. Where light can't strike the snow, it can't be yellow. It has to be shadowed yellow, which means violet. Because that's what, and you can always see blue or violet in the shadows on snow. So here it is. Gray, blue, violet. I made gray, put violet in it, alizarin, and I put blue in it. But that's not the whole story. There's always enough general illumination caused by light to have color go back into the shadow. And so in here, inside the shadow, we get yellow again. And all white things are done the same way. I don't know whether you have a good view of those two paintings I did in the previous sessions. The one on the right I did at home with a lot of time, and the other one is the one I showed you during the program. They're different whites. This one looks very yellowish in relation to one that's sitting next to it because you have a chance to compare them. But I did the same thing. I used the same principle. I made it yellow where the light struck, I made it violet for the shadow, and I put yellow back into the shadow.